Nah, man, you don't understand, bro. I had a whole nother stream I was supposed to be doing tonight. And then Disney just went ahead and announced all that stuff. Yes, I do love The Mandalorian. His name is Grogu. And yes, he is adorable. Yes, I agree with you. Ahsoka was awesome. Rosario Dawson knocked that out of the water. Look, bro. Look. I ain't gonna argue with you, bro. The problem is I don't want to be spending all my goddamn money. Oh, you know I'm just gonna go out and spend all my money on these movies. Oh, you wait. The hell you mean why I'm wearing the same damn hoodie? Oh, snap.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Greetings to everyone watching live and everyone watching after the fact. Shout out to the faithful and salute to the patrons. This is Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, here to bring you all a special OAW news segment because yesterday was Disney's Investor Day 2020. And they decided to go ahead and announce like the announcements was crazy. All right. We talking about, I think what is it? Over like 52 projects were announced. It was insane. It was insane, man. And like I said, I'm sorry y'all had to see that at the beginning of the stream. My apologies. But like, man, I was supposed to be doing a top 5 tonight. And then, yesterday I'm knocking off work. I'm going grocery shopping. All of a sudden I'm getting texts talking about, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? Oh man. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Totally forgot about Investor Day. And then guess what happened? I checked my phone and boom, the internet exploded. It exploded with all the announcements we got coming out of Investor Day 2020. So I know I'm going to get questions about this. I know people were going to be hitting me up about it, wanting to know what was going on. So I just decided, you know what? We're going to go ahead. We're going to dedicate a whole segment, a whole stream. We're going to chop it up. We're going to talk about correction. We ain't talking about everything coming out of that Investor Day because it's just too much stuff to cover. And I only got so much time. But I will talk about all of the new Star Wars announcements and all of the new Marvel announcements coming out of Investor Day 2020. So, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I will not be doing it alone. So I was since we talk about Star Wars, right? There was someone has reached out to me from the nether realm of the Force. And he was like, Larry, man, I saw you was doing a stream. You know, you got to add me in on that stream, big dog, right? You know, we got to go here. We got to chop it up about some of this stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, little children, dog, and cats, I am joined tonight by my man, none other than Random Black Gamer is in the building, chopping it up with your old boy.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for having me, man. Baby Grogu, you know what I'm saying? I call him Baby Yoda. You know what I'm saying? Hey, mama called him Baby Yoda. I'm going to call him Baby Yoda. But Grogu, you know what I'm saying? When he was on that little pillar, hitting his little meditation and sending out all those signals, somehow it got lost in translation and I felt your message, man. So I was like, let me go ahead and link up with my boy. And you know what I'm saying? Kick it back to the old days. You remember those Budokai days when they used to do those epic beam struggles?
Dude, I had the circles burned in my palm.
Bro, I still have analog ashes on the ground. And I have the calluses on my fingers too and on my hands. So let's do an epic beam struggle and spitball some ideas off each other and just talk about this epic spirit bomb that Disney just dropped on us because they laid it out. Man. They came with it. It was the ultimate time to answer to the big debacle that's been going on with Warner Brothers. And, it just has a lot of people talking. A lot of Hail Marys were thrown. So we got to talk about this.
I feel you, my man. So pretty much for about the next hour or so, we will be chopping it up, giving you all our takes and our thoughts on these Star Wars and Marvel announcements. We will be answering questions and comments if time, if they're on topic, if time permits, if we're able to squeeze them in. But if you want to make sure that your question or comment gets answered before the end of tonight's broadcast, you can always drop a super chat. We will definitely get to it before the end of tonight's show. Also, I have sent out the link to all the patrons who are watching all of my patrons who are watching, you guys got a link to join in on this show if you guys want to get in on this. Also, I sent a link to some of our YouTube compatriots. If you guys are watching, feel free to jump in the show. As always. So yeah, man, see, I always call him Esper. Y'all know him as Rank Black Gamer. I call him Esper. Back in the old, YouTube anime community days. You know what I'm saying? But Esper, man, I'm gonna let you start things off, bro. Where do you want to start off? Do you want to start off with Star Wars, or do you want to start off with Marvel? Which one you want to start off with?
I guess we can start off with I don't want to say it's the lesser franchise, but I think it's a franchise that's building up to what it used to be, this big mega juggernaut. So we can start off with Star Wars first. You can obviously tell that things have been kind of building off The Mandalorian. There have been a lot of jumping off points.
Mm-hmm.
A major character that was introduced. Just want to point out that this isn't the first character that was introduced in the Clone Wars or animated series to have a live action portrayal. We forgetting about my boy Forrest Whitaker's character, Saul.
Mm-hmm.
Saul, so that's not Ahsoka is not the first character, but they introduced her. They stuck their landing. She pretty much, Rosario Dawson. She captures the essence of the character that we've been seeing in the animated form, and she's been doing a good job. We knew it was coming. They introduced her show, and they elaborated on all the other shows they're going to be expanding off of everything with what do they have? The Bad Batch, and they have all these other Lucasfilm properties. It's going to be a big, big thing for the Star Wars franchise because this is what we've been wanting. We've been wanting something different, and we've been wanting it to be put in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing. And it seems like Amy Pascal, she's giving that to us.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I got hopefully, I don't see why I would get copywritten for this. Hopefully that is not the case. Mm-hmm. So, but this has happened before. Actually, it happened on the last OAW news segment.
Oh, wow.
But anywho, I have oh man, I don't even know if you guys can read that. Oh man. And that's
it from my end.
Okay. You know what? That's actually not even big enough for you guys to see. I don't think you guys can see that. But this is the D23 website, which is the official website for the Disney fan. It calls itself it is the official site for the Disney fan club. But this is some of the things they were talking about in terms of the Lucasfilms announcement. So this little part of the article not only talks about the Star Wars portion, but just some of the other stuff coming out of Lucasfilms as well. And so amongst the shows that were announced, and this actually isn't even all of them. I guess they broke it up depending on the studios. So the ones, all right, let me go back to it. So the ones that are listed here, they do mention them. They just don't show the logos for them. All right. So yeah. So Since you started things off with the Mandalorian talk, yeah, we have 2 Mandalorian spinoffs. The first one is Ahsoka, which that one was, I don't even know if that one, it wasn't officially announced, but it was rumored for a while. I think after Rosario Dawson's casting for season 2, a lot of people were speculating that they were going to end up spinning her off into her own show at some point. And then I think, especially after her episode in season 2, it was just like full steam ahead with that whole thing. But that of the 2 of those, I think that was the one that most people sort of, saw coming. The other one is Rangers of the New Republic. Here's the thing about this one. Isn't this supposed to be the what's my girl's name? The Gina Carano spinoff?
I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if she is associated with it in some shape or form, because it seems like they've been trying to utilize these characters in a way that's gonna interconnect things, just make sure everything ties into each other. So I would not be surprised.
Yeah. So I ran across an article because it was talking about how apparently this isn't the Gina Carano spinoff. That doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm going to tell you why. First off, it's called Rangers of the New Republic. Second, we saw Gina Carano's character join the New Republic, and she is a marshal. All right.
Right.
Last I checked, Rangers report to marshals.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why would this not be the same project? But apparently that whole Gina Carano spinoff, that was another one that was rumored for since I think season 1, it was rumored. And I'm just assuming that this is in fact that same series. So those are the 2 Mandalorian spinoffs. Now this next one is another one we've actually heard about for a while, but it's officially been announced, it's been confirmed. And I think it is going to be a series, not just a film, and that's the Obi-Wan Kenobi series.
Yeah.
Now the surprise here, and this is the part that don't make no damn sense to me. So somebody explain this to me as if I'm a 5th grader, all right? Hayden Christensen is returning, but he's returning as Darth Vader.
That's very weird. Yeah, that was something that kind of confused me too, because it's pretty much insinuated in the New Hope that, they haven't met in the years since the Jedi, fell and the Empire took over. So it's crazy that they're doing this. I'm kind of wondering, like, what they're going to do to try to interconnect this, because we've seen crazier things happen before, Larry. Like, we've seen people who we thought had chapters ended, like Darth Maul, but somehow the brilliant mind of Dave Filoni found a way to actually put him back and make him such a prominent character, inject him with a lot of personality and make him one of the big time players within the universe. And, so I don't know, I was thinking like, man, I could see them doing something where they try to put Darth Maul back in this somewhere, even though those 2 haven't met in such a while. It was like a big time gap where they met, and that story pretty much ended in Rebels. But hearing that they're going to try to squeeze Darth Vader in this, I'm like, damn.
Yeah. So my thing is, I'm just trying to figure out, because he's not Anakin, he's going to be Vader.
Right.
But Vader has a costume that he wears at all times. And he has a voice modulator.
Yeah.
What does it matter if it's Hayden? It could be anybody.
Exactly.
What does it matter? Dude, the only thing that makes sense to me is if they're doing flashback.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I was thinking. I was like, maybe they're going to expand on the different things with Anakin and Obi-Wan. But even if they do, it seems like they're only going to be trading on the territory that the Clone Wars is already established. It's already laid out. So I'm just thinking like, okay, what can you do other than just show his younger burnt face? Because I don't think they've done that since the 3rd episode 3, where they showed, him severely burnt younger before he donned the helmet and stuff. So, it's gonna be crazy. It's crazy what they're gonna do with this. And I think if anything, they would just, depending on that nostalgia factor, to just get people hyped that, Hayden is actually returning to the franchise.
Yeah, but I don't see too many people getting hyped about that.
Oh, no, I saw a few people, people within the Star Wars community, they were hyped, but then again, they were like, yeah, wait a minute, how is that going to work?
Because Hayden, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Hayden Christensen like the most hated person in Star Wars prior to the sequel trilogy?
Yeah, a lot of that was brought on by George Lucas just forcefully putting him in things that didn't belong to be put, in certain areas, like putting him in the Jedi Returns or whatever to replace the former actor that played.
I didn't mind that though. I thought that was cool. I didn't mind that. I actually liked that.
I felt like that wasn't necessary though. I was like, okay, well, I would rather see a human version, the out of costume version of Darth Vader be the age that he was, instead of just aging him down to where before he became Darth Vader. Like I was like,
see, but that's why that made sense to me, because it's like, it's Anakin when he was a Jedi.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I can see it that way.
So I didn't mind that. And for the record, like I did not mind Hayden Christensen as Anakin either. I just wish that his material was a little bit better.
Yeah,
I wish some of his dialogue and whatnot was better.
Exactly. And that's the thing with Star Wars. It's like Star Wars is such a very finicky franchise when it comes to dialogue. It's like the person that introduced the series that's not his strong point to give these actors strong dialogue. That's never been his strong point. We've seen that when other directors have taken on the franchise, when from the start of what's his name, Irvin Kushner?
I believe so.
Yeah, when he took over the Empire, it was a big difference, and it continues to be a big difference. And I think that's what's going to, elevate his performance. Like when we do see him come back to this, this series, we already have the map laid out from the Clone Wars with how they made this character way better than what he was when he was introduced on the silver screen. And I'm thinking they're going to play off of that. I think Hayden, he's had a little time to let it marinate. He's not going to come back like he did the first time around. You know what I'm saying? You remember Rocky Maivia?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't going to be Rocky Maivia. He's going to be The Rock when he comes back.
Yeah. I mean,
ain't no Flex Cavana up in here. We coming back stronger.
I just I'm just curious into how they work Hayden Christensen in. That's all. The other thing, but so how do I put this? Because Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of those first Star Wars, one of the new announcements that I wasn't really that interested in, because I don't really want to know what Obi-Wan does during, that time skip. I mean, they're gonna have to win me over with that. They're gonna have to win me over with that. You know what I'm saying? And the Hayden Christensen thing, that just kind of, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. At least with Ahsoka and with Rangers of the New Republic, we're going into like new territory, right?
Right.
We're doing post Return of the Jedi, pre-sequel trilogy. I'm just banking. I'm hoping they end up right in that out of continuity. We don't know. Good chance that probably won't happen because they spent too much damn money on that just to become irrelevant. But yeah, that's my thing on that. And then, so the other title, okay, now we're getting to the shows I really don't care about. And those are Andor, which is supposed to be a prequel to Rogue One about the characters that we followed in Rogue One that ended up dying in Rogue One.
Right. I don't know, man. It's like I'm not really interested in like either of those. The only one I'm really, curious about is Star Wars: The Bad Batch, because those were some cool characters that were introduced in the final season of Clone Wars. And, I'm always hungry for more Star Wars animation. So I'm interested in seeing what they do with that. At first, like when I read it, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't know if my eyes was playing tricks on me, but I was like, Star Wars: The Bad Bitch. I was like, what is this going to be like? Is Nicki Minaj getting a spin off on Star Wars or something, But The Bad Batch, that's pretty much the only one that I'm interested in.
Yeah, and so okay, and that is that going to be animated too?
Yeah, The Bad Batch, that's going to be animated. That's it's based off of the clones, like these clones that were basically defects, but they had like cool looking things that made them unique. They had one guy that's like the big brute, the one clone that's a big brute, the clone that's like a tech savvy, that's skinny and nerdy. All of them have their own little unique characteristics, But yeah, I was interested in that. At first, I thought it was going to be a live action thing. And I'm like, I don't think Tamir Morrison, the guy that's basically lent his likenesses to all these characters, I don't think he's going to be able to do that, because my boy, I ain't trying to body shame, but he got a little thick, and his range isn't all that great when it comes to acting and to just injecting his personality into these characters. But it's animation, so it's all good.
I got you. Yeah, Bad Batch. I mean, that one didn't appeal to me. But yeah, so that's happening. And then, okay, Star Wars Visions. Just looking at the name, I was like, what the hell is that supposed to be? And then I read up on it. Apparently, this is an anime anthology series. And I got the vibe. I'm like, okay, but clearly you don't just do that, I'm getting serious Animatrix, Batman Gotham Knight vibes, where it's like clearly you're going to be doing
Matrix, whatever.
You're going to if it's an anime anthology, clearly you're going to be doing like a different director every episode, probably a different animation style. that whole shebang. I'm like, okay, that could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It could be cool because if what I'm expecting is accurate on this, we're talking about standalones. Some of the stories might be canon, some of them might not be. That doesn't really matter because it's not really the point. So that might actually be pretty cool. So I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. You got to keep in mind too. Like I was kind of in and out of it because this is an investor conference, so I wasn't able to just capture everything like I wanted to because the big wigs had to kind of, just strut their stuff and show all the big properties that they own. Getting their Thanos snap on. But now that you mentioned that is a cool thing. Like hopefully they can get some of the big wigs, like the big people up in the anime, industry. And some of the highly prestigious key animators, on board and tell these stories in unique looking designs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm interested. That's on my radar now that you mentioned it. If that's what they're doing, like an Animatrix or something or a Gotham Knight.
Yeah, that's what I think that one might be. Now this next one, y'all, I'm sorry. I don't care about Lando. I don't. He's a small character in the original trilogy.
Right.
And I like Billy D. Williams.
That's who they're using? They're using Billy D?
No, I don't think so. I think this is supposed to be a prequel. I think this is supposed to take place after Solo.
Okay, so they're going to use Donald Glover?
We don't know yet. He hasn't signed on, and that hasn't been announced.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't need a show about Lando. I don't need it. I think it's overkill, personally. So yeah, that's. I don't have much to say about Lando. What you think, Esper?
I don't know. It's like I'm not really. I was never a fan of Lando. I hated the action figure. I never understood why he had a cape. He just looks like a walking advertisement for Colt 45 up in the Star Wars universe. Just looked like a pimp with a nice perm. He could actually get sponsored by the S-Curl kit. If George Lucas was wise enough, he would have did that. I don't know if the S-Curl was around during the 80s, but hey, that would have been a perfect thing, because Brothers was into that character back then until they made him a snitch. But yeah, I'm not interested in that at all. Yeah.
And then so the Acolyte, that's a new one. Which is apparently supposed to take place during the Old Republic, and the synopsis I read, and granted this was on another website, said something about like it's a female-led series about like this dark force or dark presence or whatever that comes into power during the Old Republic, and I'm like, okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like,
and I just went about my business. So.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. It's like the Star Wars franchise is such like this weird place, because there are so many bookends to things, and everything that we're getting, it basically just fills in the gaps to stuff that we already know what's going to ultimately conclude to. So depending on what character they use, I'm saying, like if that character catches my interest, that's just what's going to keep me invested. But all these other shows that they haven't really provided that much context to, I'm not that interested in them.
Right. And then, so the last one, second to last one is a droid story, which apparently is supposed to be like a special. And that's R2D2 and C3PO. I don't know how they're going to do that one. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a comedy hour or something like that, but essentially it's it's a comedy special is what it is. I don't know. That might be fun. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because I just got done rewatching the original trilogy. I think this past weekend, and I forgot how funny C3PO is. So I don't know. That could be good. That could be good.
Yeah, it's the last of the Mohegans when it comes to the cast members, besides your boy Billy D and Mark Hamill, and the characters that have basically been killed off canonically.
Oh yeah. And no, Chewbacca survived, didn't he?
No, Chewbacca. Well, I know his actor is dead. I'm just talking about the actors.
Oh, well, I think the actor who originally played C-3PO passed.
C-3PO?
Yeah, I think he did.
I thought that was R2D2's actor. I thought C-3PO was still alive. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then the final Star Wars announcement was the Rogue Squadron film that is going to be directed by Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame.
Right. That was a big announcement right there. I'm not talking about the actual show, but just to have her jumping onto the Disney team after the big debacle with Warner Brothers, that was, kind of like that one of those Hail Marys that I was talking about. But
yeah, but she wasn't one of the directors that came out against Warner Brothers though.
I mean, she had some choice words to say, like a lot of directors, they've been kind of tight-lipped. They say, oh, make sure that you go support the theatrical release because that's where we get paid. We have certain things in place and we get certain bonuses if the movie performs well. Like a lot of directors have been, verbal, but I don't think, some of them have been, over 9,000, you know what I'm saying? Like my boy Christopher Nolan and a few others, but the ones who actually have a lot of pull in the industry and have given Warner Brothers billions of dollars. But, she's had some things to say in some of the actors within that Wonder Woman camp. So it's cool seeing her be able to do things, stretch her creative muscles in a place that actually allows people to do that.
Yeah. I suppose. I mean, I'll be honest, dude. My friend texted me about that, and I sent puke emojis. I'm actually not excited about that.
Yeah, I'm not either. Like, I'm not really into like the role part of things, especially with the pilots. Unless they introduce characters who are like very popular. I think I can see Hela from Star Wars Rebels being introduced in that, maybe getting her live action debut somewhere down the line. But other than that, I'm not that interested.
Dude, it's not the video game.
Right.
The last time I got excited about Rogue Squadron was the video game. When I got to play it. And I'm not going to get to play it. I got to watch it. And yeah, I don't want to watch it. I was telling my buddy about this. I said, dude, it's Star Wars Top Gun. Yeah. I don't want to watch Star Wars Top Gun.
Right. We've already seen like a female neuter version of that in the form of Captain Marvel.
Like I just don't want to. I don't. The pilots don't excite me. That's not what I don't go. Ooh, I mean, granted, Poe was the only thing. He was the only thing I loved about that sequel trilogy. Yeah. But I didn't go to those movies like, oh man, can't wait to see my boy Poe Dameron.
Right.
No.
It's like whenever I think about Star Wars pilots, I'm always interested in the ones who are force sensitive, because those are the ones who do the cool stuff, like Luke and Vader. Those are the only like pilots I've ever been interested in. Anybody else who's jumped in an X-wing, nothing to write home about with me, especially Poe. Like they pretty much killed his character. Like after The Force Awakening, like they just made him second fiddle to the end all be all Mary Sue of the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, I know. And here's the thing though. That's not to say that I don't like a good dogfight. Like, of course I do. Mandalorian is dude, the freaking, what was that episode? What was the episode with the mine? What was that, episode 4? Dude, that dogfight at the end of that episode, that chase scene, it was awesome.
Right.
But for a whole movie though?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, bruh, for a whole movie? Now, I could be wrong, especially since this is Lucasfilms we talking about, and Lucasfilms made one of my favorites, though highly underrated and underappreciated film, Red Tails. That was a Lucas film. Right. I love that movie. So if it's like Red Tails in Star Wars, now that's a different story because Red Tails ain't Top Gun. You know what I'm saying? Right. So now we got something we could talk about, but it's one of those cases we just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, like
And I just lost 10 viewers by saying I love Red Tails. Yes, I love Red Tails. That was a good movie.
yeah, like I don't know, man. It's like anytime like the rebel pilots or whatever or the Rogue Squadron is involved, it's like we see so many formulaic things done where we have to get this item or get to point A to point B, insert like some kind of bomb up in a spaceship, and then end of story. Everybody celebrates, everybody goes home until a new menace arrives. So scratch that off my list of things I'm interested in. I'm not really interested in that. Just mark that off.
Gotcha. So this is perfect timing because we are joined by one of the longtime faithful and the longtime patrons, my man Trent. What's happening, baby? Tell people.
Hello.
So Trent, you came in perfect timing, bro. We just got done going over the Star Wars slate, dude. Let me know what do you think about the announcements that was made? Which one are you looking forward to? Which one can't you stand, dude? Just let us know.
Actually, I was hoping y'all could tell me about it because this is my first time hearing about this.
We just got done talking about them. Like that just happened. Trent, you gonna have to run this video back.
Yeah,
I ain't repeating myself.
Gotta hit that rewind button, man.
You gotta hit the rewind, my brother.
No, I got it. I'll say Sorry, I was thinking about something totally different about what you were saying. I'll say either the Obi-Wan series or either Ahsoka, because I want to see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka. Really bad.
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was good.
Yeah, she was. That
good.
Was a pretty good impression and everything, basically.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious. Trent, are you caught up on The Mandalorian?
Actually, no, I'm not.
Okay. But Esper, you are, right?
Yeah, I just watched the recent episode they just aired.
Yeah, I just started. Wait, what's up, Trent?
I can mute myself if you guys are gonna talk about it real quick.
No. All I'm gonna say is this: since we have the Ahsoka announcement official now, dude, I didn't even think about this before, dude. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that sort of like plot thread that was introduced in her episode is in her show, not in The Mandalorian.
Right.
And I'm like, it didn't even occur to me until just now that I'm like, oh man, we won't get to see that. We're probably not going to see that in The Mandalorian. That's probably going to be in hers.
Right, exactly.
Shit. Now I gotta watch it.
Yeah, we got to, man. Like it's become like a running gag at this point. Like Mandalorians just bump shoulders with people. They give these interesting stories and just drop a little exposition. Not too much of a dump, but just a little exposition on what they got going on in their lives. And we hardly ever see them again. Like we'll probably see them again for the next season, but we're just getting these setups like left and right for these characters.
Yeah. All right. So are we ready to talk some Marvel?
Definitely. If we done with Star Wars and you guys have gotten all the things you want to say out, we can definitely move to Marvel.
Trent, did you have anything else Star Wars related before we jump over to Marvel?
Nope, I'm good because like I said, I'm still kind of out of the loop on all this. I'm still trying to get myself back into it.
Yeah.
Me too, bro. I mean, dude, it was a lot of material, dude. I'm just like, oh my gosh, a lot of material. And y'all see all the stuff I'm skipping on this article. Don't even get me started. Get me started.
Is it a bunch of Disney stuff or what is it?
Yeah,
a bunch of
happening. That's how crazy this is. We getting a Buzz Lightyear origin story.
Yes. I love me some Buzz Lightyear.
That's how nuts this is, dude. That's how nuts it is. All right, so on to Marvel Studios, to the big old MCU, the big bad MCU. All right, so let's see. So we did get. So the first thing they did was they confirmed release dates for the first 4 Disney Plus series that were already previously announced, right? So like WandaVision, I think that's January 15th.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on, let me see. Okay, yeah, they're bringing. Okay, do they have? They don't have the dates on them though. They don't have the dates. But yeah, not on this article, they don't. But yeah, I think like WandaVision, that's January 15th. I think they said Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be in March. Loki, I think, is dropping in July. And I think What If in like August. So and those are the 4 that we already knew about, right?
Right.
Then let's see. So 3 new series. Okay, get ready for this. Secret Invasion, starring Samuel L. Jackson. And so this one is going to be what, Nick Fury and what is his name? Talos?
Yeah, Talos.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be them 2. Off top. I can't believe y'all wasted that name for that show. So I mean, I understand Captain America is gone, but I'm like, so we just not doing the Secret Invasion storyline at all. Moving on. Then we got Ironheart, which is the Riri Williams Iron Man. That's going to be played by Dominique Thorne, which got to kind of roll my eyes at, because I'm like, didn't we pretty much make Shuri into Riri in the MCU?
That's what a lot of people were doing. There was a lot of fan art for that and everything. It's like fans were giving them the perfect setup to do something without actually bringing in a character that doesn't really have the best legacy since he's been introduced.
Yeah, like what? Come on now. And
then we have Armor Wars, which I guess is going to be a loose adaptation on that arc, because that's correct me if I'm wrong, that's an Iron Man story arc from the comics. Yeah, and I guess they're doing a loose adaptation of that.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But they have Don Cheadle starring in that as Rhodey, aka War Machine. So I guess that's going to be like his like Iron Man sequel, like his Iron Man without Iron Man movie.
Right. It feels like it's like a returning to home kind of thing with Don Cheadle, because you remember he was introduced in Iron Man 2. And Iron Man 2 kind of takes a lot of those elements from the Iron Wars story, because you have Justin Hammer, who was one of the primetime villains of that arc, and he was using Tony Stark's technology, and Tony Stark's had to basically break laws in order to, get some of his tech back. But, he's not going to be the main protagonist this time around. It's going to be Rhodey. So it's, it's kind of like a return to form thing with him in a way. And like we're retreading territory, and we just might see Justin Hammer come back to the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. And then, so we talked about I just mentioned the 4 previous ones. Okay. So then Miss Marvel got officially announced. Which I think, Miss Marvel was already announced, I think, but like now it's confirmed. There's a casting, all that jazz. Hawkeye is still happening, but they didn't drop a date for that. She-Hulk, that's been confirmed. And of course, there's a casting for that. That was already previously released.
Who's playing She-Hulk? Did they say that? Or
it's Tatiana
Maslany. Oh, I can't say her last name.
Maslany. Yeah. That's what's that girl? Is she from Orange Is the New Black? I think. I
don't think she's from that. I think she was from something else. I forgot the name of the show though.
Yeah, she looks familiar, but I can't think of what the hell she was in.
I know she's very popular though.
Yeah.
Orphan Black. That's where she's from. Orphan Black.
Yeah.
So
did you see the big stinger they had? They got Tim Roth returning as Abomination.
I did not know about that until like an hour before this show.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think it's gonna get people back on board. They're playing with them toys again. They ain't just playing with the Hulk. They're playing with a lot of toys. That they can do in their own sandbox, but not in Universal's.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
And then so then we got Moon Knight that's happening with Oscar Isaacs, and I think that casting was announced like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's my shit, man. I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
Trent is very excited about Moon Knight.
Yeah, I am too, man. I'm with him.
he-
Like I feel the same energy, bro. Like
he's one of my top 3 favorite Marvel characters.
yeah, they're going all in with that in terms of the lore too. So I couldn't be any more excited about it.
Khonshu and all that hotness, yeah.
All right, and then we got Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which is being written and directed by James Gunn.
Right.
So, and then a series of original shorts, I Am Groot, featuring everyone's favorite Baby Tree. So I guess we're going back to Baby Groot?
I guess so. Like I think they want to make a little more money off that, with that character.
Well, yeah, because Baby Yoda just did kind of swoop in and steal his thunder.
Yeah, he did.
And then so that's the TV side. And then we got the movie side, ladies and gents. And the movie side, the big announcements were as follows. So first off, I think they changed the release schedule around. So from what I heard, the release schedule is supposed to go like this, right? Oh, well, hang on. Before I get into the release schedule, Maniac Madness 11. Thank you so much, sir. Just dropped a $5 super chat. And I actually, this is a good time perfect for the segue over to the movie side. He says, how would you feel about the Black Panther 2 movie taking place between the 5-year span of the Snapshot to justify T'Challa not being included anymore? Okay, so let's talk about that. So one of the big announcements. Oh, I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me switch over to. Yeah, there we go. Because Trent's face was getting covered up. So one of the big announcements on the film side was the fact that Black Panther 2 is still confirmed. It is still happening, but they will not recast T'Challa. So they, essentially that role will forever belong, at least for now, until 5-10 years from now, when somebody who don't give a shit, looking to make a quick buck, decides, let's go ahead and make a Black Panther movie, right? Right. We know that happens. But as it stands for right now, with the MCU, with this current iteration of it, that role will remain with Chadwick Boseman. They are not recasting T'Challa. So many people are just assuming, speculating and whatnot, that the Black Panther mantle will either be passed on to another character or there won't be a Black Panther at all. The brief description I heard it sounded like it wasn't even going to be a Black Panther movie. It's going to be a Wakanda movie, not necessarily a Black Panther movie. So, but to answer Maniac Madness 11's question, he said, how would you feel about Black Panther 2 taking place during the 5-year span of the Snapshot, or the blip? Isn't that what they called it? The blip, to justify T'Challa not being included anymore. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I freaking hate that idea.
Me
and
too.
I'll tell you why? Because half of Wakanda got snapped out with him.
Exactly.
So yeah, I would hate that idea. That would be a terrible idea. Because remember, Shuri got snapped out with him too. So you wouldn't be able to use Shuri.
I was thinking the same thing. And there's so many good actors that we have that can, don the mantle of Black Panther and take over the role of T'Challa. Larry, I think you got the same choice that I got. One of my first picks was John David Washington.
Yep.
Just get him up in there because I think, he has a lot of range and I think he can portray a good T'Challa. And it'll kind of be like a cool thing that kind of interconnects with the relationship that Chadwick Boseman had with Denzel Washington, John David Washington's father, because apparently Denzel Washington is responsible or had a hand in helping Chadwick Boseman, get his make his way into Hollywood. Gave him his acting what was that, acting degree or whatever, some kind of, he helped him or financially in terms of just going to acting school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be a good thing, good actor, good callback.
I could have seen that. I could have seen I had what's my man, Lakeith Steinfeld.
Yeah.
Steinfeld. Is it Steinfeld?
I think so.
Lakeith, you know who I'm talking about, Lakeith.
Yeah.
Anywho, he was one that was on my list, but I think he actually has already been cast as something else in the MCU.
Has he?
I think he has. I think I remember hearing something about that. Like he's in one of these upcoming movies.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything in terms of MCU or to be announced for him in the MCU, but if they have plans for him, okay.
Or is it Falcon and Winter Soldier he's supposed to be in? I heard something about that he's going to be in one of these productions.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
But anyway, so but yeah, so which you had, Trent?
No, I was just saying I don't know what he's in.
But yeah, so yeah, I don't think that's not how you would do that. That's not how you would do that.
I think they just kind of
also because I don't want the Black Panther sequel to be another prequel, because if it takes place during the blip, technically speaking, it's another prequel.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they're just kind of playing it safe. They don't want to make it seem like they're trying to monetize off the death of a celebrity that's just passed. We've seen it affect so many things within Marvel. Marvel's Avengers, the game, were originally gonna release Black Panther as the upcoming DLC, but Chadwick, he passed shortly before they did that, and they kind of changed things around, and they gave us a Hawkeye clone in the form of Kate Bishop. So I think it's just a lot of things that they're trying to do in order to be on the safe side and avoid causing a little turmoil, a little controversy.
Yeah,
because it's still fresh, and why would they want to announce something now of who will be replacing an actor who was portraying that role that just passed away?
Yeah, true that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all right. So let me go ahead and pull this guy back up. All of these nice fancy logos. All right, so going back to what I was saying about the like the schedule, right? The slate, like how they change things around. So apparently the way I heard it was that the slate was going to be or at least at the beginning. So Black Widow, that's coming out in May. So essentially it'll be a year after it was originally supposed to come out. So that's coming out in May, and then that's going to be followed up by Shang-Chi in July, and then I think which one was it? You know what? I'm not gonna hurt my head. I'm gonna look this up real quick. I'm not gonna hurt my head. Because I tried remembering how it was all supposed to break down. Okay, now is this still the original slate, or is this the new? Oh, okay. Hang on. Here it is. This is the updated slate. Okay, so this actually has everything. So I'm just going to talk about the movies. Okay, so yeah, Black Widow, that is, hang on, let me get out of here, bro. All right, let me move this over here. And okay, so no, get out of here. All right, so yeah, that was okay. So yeah, Black Widow May 7th, Shang-Chi July 9th. Then the next movie is Miss Marvel late next year. I didn't even know. Oh no, I'm sorry. No,
that's the TV series.
Yeah, that's the series. Okay, Eternals. Eternals is the next one. That's April 5th. Then, okay, now here's the weird thing. I do not remember them saying anything about the Spider-Man 3 film.
Yeah, I forgot what it was announced. I think they did that on Twitter because some of the stuff that they were doing, they were just talking, they were like elaborating later on after the big conference, the big investor conference. They was like, oh, this will be here, this will be there. Oh, yeah, we're going to be doing Fantastic Four. Just laying it out, just recapping it for people.
So, yeah. So this says the third Holland film. I'm not calling it Spider-Man 3. It's the third because we know it's going to have a different name because it don't even have a name yet. And it's going to have something to go with home.
From what I'm hearing, it's called, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's called, like people have been saying it's called Homeworld. They're going to have like this multiversal event that happens and they're saying, oh, it's going to be Homeworld or something like that.
I thought they were going. I'm going with Home Run. That's what I'm going with. because with all these announcements, we're getting all of these old Spider-Man alumni and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, y'all pretty much expecting this to be the end game for the Spider-Man franchise,
right?
So I'm calling it Home Run. That's what I'm calling it. All right, then let's see. So then the next one after that is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is March of 2022. Then Thor, Love and Thunder, May of 2022. And then this one doesn't, let me see. Yeah, so this one doesn't go beyond that. Like I ran across an article that went even further than that because I think Black Panther 2 is July of 22. And then I think after that is Captain Marvel 2. Captain Marvel 2 is after Black Panther 2. And that like ends 2022. And then Blade still doesn't have a release date, but they did confirm that that's going to be a film and not a series. And the real big announcement was Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic Four is finally coming to the MCU, and that's going to be helmed by John Watts, who is the director of of Spider-Man: Homecoming and Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Right.
Still ain't got no Ghost Rider coming.
Nope, no Ghost Rider.
Damn.
Still ain't got no Namor. Still ain't got no Silver Surfer or no Galactus. Let me see who else we still. So we still ain't figured out how officially we're bringing in any Daredevil, any Luke Cage, whether or not we even gonna bother with Iron Fist again. Nothing of that. No Heroes for Hire. No Daughters of the Dragon. None of that. No. But we got time for Miss Marvel though.
Okay, well the thing I don't get.
We got time for Riri Williams though.
Oh man.
The thing I don't get. I don't even know. I don't even understand why we're doing a Ms. Marvel miniseries when they could have just called the Captain Marvel movie Ms. Marvel and just left it at that.
Because they're two different characters.
Yeah.
The Miss Marvel is Kamala Khan.
She's who?
Kamala Khan.
Oh, okay.
Miss Marvel from the video game, man.
Yeah, I was a little confused. I remember when they announced that last year. I was like, okay, but Carol Danvers hasn't even become a prominent figure on Earth. She's been on off-world events. So how is this person that's known as fanatic of Carol Danvers gonna take on the mantle of Miss Marvel and be this big fan of her if Carol Danvers hasn't really been around that much? But now they're saying that she's gonna be featured in the next Captain Marvel movie as well, and that's how she's gonna become like a big fanatic of Carol Danvers and start to become Miss Marvel or something like that.
I'm skipping it, so it doesn't matter. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania was also announced. I totally forgot about this one because I really don't care about the Ant-Man series either. I still haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know, right? Still haven't seen that. But this is happening as well. And when is this slated? Or did they say when
it's going to be in 2022? They haven't given a specific date because it's going to start filming next year in 2021. So it's coming out in 2022.
I got you. Yeah, that's what
Unspecified
they're
date.
saying. Oh, excuse me, that's what they're saying. But yeah, but this is the film that's supposed to introduce Kang the Conqueror, which I'm kind of like, how?
I mean, I think they're going to do it like because Kang he's always associated with time travel in some form, existing in different timelines or whatever. And since Ant-Man has become like this usherer of quantum physics and quantum travel and stuff like that, they're going to be like, oh, you've been manipulating time, and he's going to come in and try to do something where he polices Ant-Man and I don't know, something along those lines. But I can see it. I see how it somewhat ties into it.
I gotcha. And yeah, and then this article also mentions Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which hasn't been given an official release date yet.
Yeah, it's crazy. It looks like the only director that's going to have a complete trilogy is John Watts. Like with Spider-Man, he's been able to just direct right back to back. James Gunn, he got cut away for a second. I thought he was going to be the first, but it looks like it's going to be John Watts to get his first trilogy out the way.
Yeah, I'd kind of throw the Russos in there.
The Russos didn't really get a chance to direct the trilogy, though. Yeah. They started off on Captain America 2.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. What do you call that?
I mean, I look at like Avengers as their own little section. You know what I'm saying? I can see if they like directed Avengers 1, 2, and 3, but
yeah,
it's like who directed Avengers 1?
Hold up. So are She-Hulk and Moon Knight getting
exactly did the first one?
I saw their own title cards up there. Are She-Hulk and Moon Knight getting their movies eventually? I saw She-Hulk and Moon Knight, because if you scroll up, I saw that's
TV shows. Those are TV shows.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Those will be TV shows.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
Because this article I'm on now has all of them compiled in one list. It didn't separate them like the other one did.
Okay.
And then of course they're talking about a new Avengers movie, which I mean,
we got a ways to go for that. I'm not even really thinking about it.
I think so.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm kind of checked out of the Avengers. Just them and stuff, because we already got technically four movies.
Yeah, it's like we've already lost two big players who helped set up that, and we got to get familiar with these new guys they're bringing in before we even get to that part.
Yeah, and I feel like, especially after Infinity War, the way they handled the Avengers, that is the original team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like that's that team.
Yep.
So yeah.
Unless you're doing like Young Avengers or whatever the other one is called, I can't.
The New Avengers.
The New Avengers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is all of the Marvel announcements. I mean, I kind of gave my piece on that whole deal while I was doing it, probably to some people's chagrin, because like, oh my God, it sounds like Larry hates everything coming out of.
Like one thing that, it's pretty much confirmed with Marvel is like they're taking a different strategy. Like I said, they're doing things completely different. They still believe in a theatrical experience. They have enough stuff to, front load their streaming service with. And now they're going to be, continuing where they left off with putting the movies where they need to be. I think that, people were assuming that Black Widow was going to end up being Disney Plus like Mulan was. But apparently, from what I'm hearing, like the Black Widow, even though it's like a prequel, it has a lot of things that tie into future projects. Like Black Widow's sister, Yelena, apparently she appears up in Hawkeye. And from what I'm hearing, she also appears up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I think there are going to be some integral parts, to that movie that tie into other future installments of other Marvel films.
Yeah.
So, that was another one of those haymakers I mentioned. We're doing things theatrically with the movies, and we're going to do things from a streaming aspect with the TV shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it. Look, wait, whoa. Hang on a second. Computer acting crazy. Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, I do believe that hour is upon us.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, I mean, we're just shy of an hour. Normally, I'd probably, well, man, I did get up at 7 this morning. So, anywho, but all right, guys. So, like I said, we were just covering the whole Star Wars and Marvel side of things. I mean, there was a bunch of stuff that came out of Pixar. There was a bunch of stuff came out of Disney Animation, Hulu, because we didn't even talk about all the Hulu stuff. Yeah, there was a bunch of Hulu announcements. Apparently, Will Smith and Chris Hemsworth are doing a National Geographic show. The Greek Freak is getting his own show over on ESPN. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Eli Manning or something, or Peyton Manning.
Why would you give Eli a show? It got to be Peyton.
Right. Yeah. Well, I heard.
Watch Eli.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Eli.
Anywho, but all right, guys. So yeah, final thoughts on the new Star Wars and Marvel announcements.
Overall, I was generally intrigued by some of the things. Not everything. Like I think a good 70% of what they introduced on Star Wars, and I think 90% of everything that Kevin Feige laid out with the future plans for the MCU, I was interested in. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
really enjoyed myself.
How about you?
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I'm excited for She-Hulk, Moon Knight, especially as far as Marvel goes. I'm kind of apprehensive about Ms. Marvel, but I'll just have to play that by ear and see how that goes. Star Wars, like I said, I'm mostly interested in Ahsoka and the whole Obi-Wan series. Maybe Rogue Squadron, but like I said, I'll have to play that by ear and see how that turns out. But we're gonna see.
Yeah. So yeah, and I mean, for me on the Star Wars end, like I said, like Ahsoka, and maybe Rangers of the New Republic, those two, Visions, I'll probably check that out. But other than that, I mean, everything else, I'm just going to kind of, play by ear. And then on the Marvel side of things, I mean, well, I'll check out WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier just because those are the two.
Yeah.
The next two up. Like that's, we talk about next month for WandaVision. So yeah, I'm probably going to check it out and whatnot. Movie wise, that list is still the same. The only thing that's changed on that is now I can add Fantastic Four to my list. But my list was always out of this new slate. It was Shang-Chi, Immortals, Doc Strange 2, Blade, and now I can add Fantastic Four. I don't give a fuck about the rest of the movies.
You don't care about Spider-Man?
Oh well, yeah, Spider-Man 3. But I'm losing interest in it, dude. I am.
I mean, I think people have been saying that the sandbox is littered with too many kids, but Spider-Man works well with others. So, especially in the comics. So I'm interested to see how that dynamic is and see what they do. And I don't think they're going to actually have those stars who, played the webhead before. I don't think they're going to have them for the full movie. I think it's going to just be like maybe cameos or something like that, or just little roles, not necessarily a big one that's going to take away from the main Spider-Man of the MCU. So
I'll use a better analogy to kind of express my my hesitancy towards that third Holland film. You said there's too many kids in the sandbox.
Mm-hmm.
I would say there are too many kids in the swimming pool. If you remember swimming as a kid,
yeah,
more kids in that pool, the more likely someone was to pee in it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's how I kind of feel on that one. But it's kind of weird, dude. I got it. I got it. And it's the same thing. Sort of my little reluctancy about the Fantastic Four movie because it's like, well, you got John Watts, same dude that did the Spider-Man films, but he didn't write those.
Right.
So I'm like, so I don't know. It's like and for the record, I actually like both those movies. You guys remember my Far From Esper? Weren't you on the Far From Home review?
Yeah, I was actually in that review.
Yeah, we loved Far From Home. And Homecoming, it was okay, but I didn't dislike it. You know what I'm saying? Like by comparison, like those amazing films, the Garfield films, I hated those. Right?
Yeah.
It's like I didn't have that with Homecoming and Far From Home. Like I didn't hate them. So I'm like, okay, well, it's not like those movies were bad. And it's not like he did a bad job directing them. All of my criticisms about those movies, it's in regards to the writing.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like Homecoming, like I always said that it had too many cooks in the kitchen. If you guys go back and look at the Wikipedia for that, that thing has like 3 writers on it. You know what I'm saying? And I think kind of,
For which one?
Homecoming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think they kind of dwindled the numbers down to like I think 1 writer, and that was one of the guys that was writing on the first one. So I'm assuming that Marvel is going to play like they did with the Russos and get the other 2 guys that were writing for the Avengers Infinity War and Endgame to they're going to get the guy that wrote for Far From Home to come over with John Watts to write for the Fantastic Four. Because like the only directors that we've had that have just been going all in when it comes to writing and directing is Joss Whedon and my man that did Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are like the only 2 directors that I've seen talented enough to do writing and directing.
Yeah. Whedon and James Gunn. Yeah,
James Gunn.
But movie wise, like that list is still the same. All those other shows, I'm just. Yeah, I could take him. I could leave. Well, okay, Moon Knight. I'm interested in Moon Knight because that's a character I'm actually not that familiar with. So
I think you'll find his backstory very, very interesting, Larry. I'll say that.
Yeah, because I heard he's kind of like he's like a
crazier version of Batman.
He's like a mix between Batman and Dr. Fate.
Yeah,
but he's crazy.
Yeah,
but he's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. So it's like he's Batman meet Dr. Fate on steroids, but is he crazy?
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, that one I'm because like I've read some of Moon Knight before, but it was never his own book. I've never read Moon Knight his own title. I've read him in other characters' books. So he's the one I'm least knowledgeable on. So okay, I'm kind of interested in his, but like. I don't give a fuck about Miss Marvel.
I'm interested in that too. Like, have you heard about the rumors who's going to be playing the Moon Knight?
It's Oscar Isaac.
Right. Yeah, that's
confirmed.
Okay, yeah, that's the thing that got me on board. I was like, okay, I want to see what this guy can do with this character.
Oh, I know he's gonna do a good job.
Yeah,
he was the best thing of the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yeah, but he was the worst thing of X-Men Apocalypse.
No, he wasn't actually.
Actually, from an aesthetic standpoint, it was, and a casting choice, in my opinion.
He was not, in my opinion. He was not the worst thing about that movie. The worst thing about that movie was the fact that it existed.
Yeah, through that.
The worst thing about that movie was that they let Bryan Singer write it again. That was the worst thing about that movie. So the second they let Bryan back in the writer's room, that nail was in the coffin.
Mm-hmm.
The other Marvel property, and like I said, Fantastic Four, I'm interested in, just because, it's Fantastic Four. I want to see them do a good one, because let's be honest about this. The best Fantastic Four movie there isn't even a freaking Fantastic Four movie.
Mm.
And that should say something.
That says a lot.
I'll repeat that again for the people in the back. The best Fantastic Four movie isn't even a Fantastic Four movie.
It's a Disney property, though. So I'll let the people who are watching, put 2 and 2 together.
They know it's The Incredibles.
Exactly. Yeah.
The Incredibles is the Fantastic Four. Yeah. So we'll see. All right. Well, that is going to wrap things up for us tonight. I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for watching live. Thanks everyone for watching after the fact. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, facebook.com/OAW Entertainment, twitter.com/OAW